Welcome back to the shop. So it's Sunday morning here. Pretty rainy and chilly out there, but managed to get a coat of paint on the upgraded bench brake there yesterday, so it's all ready to roll. I did have to do a little extra grinding here on these arms. Just they were binding up on the piece of channel we added there. So other than that, all ready to go, and I think we're gonna go out and make a plan for the 68. And that's the thing, before you start into a project, you gotta have some kind of rough idea where you're going and what your goals are. Otherwise you end up just tearing into a bunch of stuff and never really getting anywhere. So my goal currently is, being that I purchased this out of the States, it has to pass a technical safety inspection here before I can insure it. So my goal is to go through, get it safe so it'll pass the inspection, brakes, suspension, stuff like that. First thing we're going to do is pull the front clip off here. Fenders, I want to get in there and patch these holes. Inner fenders have a bit of rot in them as well. We'll get that fixed up. I've got new core support coming for it. We'll get that installed. And that'll give me a chance to get in there. Like I said, I want to get some headers on. It's got a few sheared off manifold bolts on it, so it will just be easier if we can go ahead and get everything out of the way. It's got a pretty bad leak here. This one, the bolts sheared off inside, missing completely. So once I get this stuff out of the way, I'll be able to get in there, weld the stud on it, and get those backed out of there. Probably going to send the steering box out for a rebuild as well. Probably going to get Redhead to do that. It's leaking pretty bad at the back seal here, and it's pretty much leaking everywhere. Pulling the front clip off too, it'll give me more room. I'll get these painted up. I'm probably going to get some color match, respray the firewall, get that cleaned up. And like I said, we're going to do probably suspension too. Kingpin bushings on this are a little sloppy. They're not terrible, but I think I'll probably still go ahead and do them. I may try and find a front end setup from a 73 and up so that we can convert this to disc brakes in the front, but I'm also okay with leaving it drums for now. Like I said, this build is kind of going to be homage to the 67 Mustang I had. So it had 4-wheel manual drums. This one coincidentally does as well. So I daily drove that car for years, never bothered me. As long as you're smart and realize you're driving a 50-plus-year-old vehicle, then you're fine with drums. They're not ideal, but definitely good for what we're doing right now. Engine, we're not touching that right now. Like I said, we'll freshen up, do some gaskets and that. This thing actually runs quite well for its age. Talking to the previous owner, it's never been rebuilt, so the plan long term is to pull that out. It's currently a 360 and we're going to build it out to a 390. But it's not in the works right now. Like I said, we just want to get it safe and driving so that we can get it through inspection and be able to insure it. I do have the new torque thrust wheels that you've probably seen in a previous video, and we'll be throwing those on with some new tires as well. So to install the wheels, I did get a set of these spacers. I think I mentioned that in a previous video. And yeah, I know, spacers. You can slaughter me in the comments down below and tell me I'm gonna die and my wheels are gonna fly off and they're not safe, but I get it. Spacers aren't my favorite either, but this truck, it's 5 on 5.5 pattern. It's the old big Ford pattern. It's a little trickier to find wheels for those. So the wheels I found are 5 on 4.5, which is a little more common. So I got these adapters that go from the 5 on 5.5 to 5 on 4.5. And they also give me, I believe there's a 1-inch. Because on these trucks, the rear wheels do sit inboard a bit from the front, so this will push them out a little bit further and kind of even things up a bit. So like I said, I'm not a fan of spacers either. I wouldn't run them on a lifted truck with big tires that you're going to be towing with. This truck's going to be a cruiser. We're not going to be towing with it, and these are only going on the back. The fronts I'm going to order, I can't remember the name of the shop. There's a hot rod shop in the States. They make a kit for re-drilling, which is basically one of these. It's got some pilot guides for drilling. You bolt it on, drill your hole, spin it, and you can re-drill to 5 on 4.5. So I'm going to do that on the fronts because yes, there's more weight up there with the truck having the big block in it, and that way we're not pushing the fronts out as well. Like I said, I want the backs to be sticking out a bit more so they're not tucked under. And I think it's about 150 bucks for the kit to re-drill, which is same price as the spacers, but I do feel better having them drilled out on the front. So we'll go ahead and do that and get those wheels on there. I think they're going to look good. They certainly look good on the Mustang. And pretty much any Classic they look good on. So. And if I get really ambitious today and there's a break in the weather, I may pull the truck over closer to the shop here and throw one of these on, slap a wheel on it, and see how they look. I'm curious to see where we sit. I think we're going to go with some fairly wide tires on that one. I'm thinking probably, I've got 275s on the back of this one. I think we want to go at least that wide, and probably 255s or something like that up front. So we'll see what we can squeeze on there. As far as the interior, like I said, it's in fairly decent condition. I'm probably just going to take the dash pad out for now. It's seen better days, and I'll just leave the bare steel dash for now. Likely going to change the steering wheel out. I don't mind this one, but like I said, we're kind of trying to bring back the feel of the Mustang, and in that one I had the walnut with the stainless spokes on it, and I'd like to get another one of those. So do need a radio for it. I'm going to put just a stock radio back in, and then I may do the same as I did in the 71 and hide an aftermarket under the seat, but I think for now we're just going to leave it as is. And I'm probably going to send this seat out to be redone. I'm actually going to take the one from the 71 there and probably ship it off in the next couple of weeks to my upholstery guy in town, get him to redo it. If that one turns out well, we'll have this one redone in black vinyl, similar to the Mustang seats. It had the black vinyl in it as well. So probably going to tint the rear window. I've got a new rubber seal. I've got some new rubber gaskets and that, change out all this kind of stuff. And as far as the body, we're just going to clean it up, buff it. Any of the patchwork, I'm going to get Rondex to color match that and just spray it in, feather it out, and keep the patina look for now. And we're just working on short-term goals right now. Long-term, you know, one day down the road, I think we'll probably paint this truck, but for the time being, we're going to keep the vintage look, and everybody that sees it seems to love it, and says, you know, don't paint it, keep the way it is. So it does have the steel step bumper on it right now. We're going to pull that off, throw a chrome bumper on it to match the front. So like I said, first step will be starting to pull everything apart here. I'm going to get the headers ordered this week, and that's kind of going to be our first short-term goal, is get to the point that we can get those in. And it's kind of something positive to work towards too, and that's the thing, you kind of need a win every once in a while when you're working on these things. I know it's going to be a challenge to get these headers in there, but that's going to pay off. So we'll get started with that, and I'll get everything freshened up here. I do have a new battery tray. This one's pretty rotted out, and as you can see, and there'll be some patching on the inner fender as well, but they're in decent shape overall, so we should be able to salvage these, give them a good sand and a fresh coat of black. And I've got to get some new hood hinges as well, because if I smash my head on this hood hinge or latch one more time, as you can see, these ones sag quite bad. And I do have a fancy broomstick in the shop there I used to prop this up, but you know, we'll get some new hinges on it. But aside from that, it's time to get going. So I'm going to grab some tools, drink some more coffee, try and warm up. We're going to be working outside for the most part here today because I don't got room in the shop, so we will work outside just like the good old days. So I think that's it for now. I'll give you an update once we get some of the stuff pulled apart. I'll get some parts on order, and I'm waiting on the course report. I did order that a couple weeks, well actually it's about 6 weeks ago now. I'm still waiting on it. Apparently they're on back order, which seems to be common for everything right now. So as soon as that shows up, we'll get that slammed in and we'll go from there. All right, so that's all for today. Somehow it's Managed to get darker out, despite the fact it's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's feels like it's the end of the day. It's almost like we live in a rainforest or something. Weird. Anyways, that's it for now. Like I said, keep an eye out for future videos. I'm sure we'll run into some issues and have a few other things we have to deal with, but we'll take it as it comes. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.